Welcome to Game and Grains, the whiskey gaming channel. I'm your favorite player one, Richard, and today we're going to be taking a look at possibly a new style of whiskey. That's right, the folks over at Keeper's Heart sent me these samples of an Irish American and an Irish Bourbon whiskey. We're going to take a look at them and I'm going to let you know what I think. So grab your controllers, pour yourself a dram, and let's get into it. The O'Shaughnessy Distilling Company was founded by two cousins and lifelong friends with a shared goal: to create a whiskey that honored their Irish American heritage. One of their first steps was to recruit Ireland's legendary master distiller, Brian Nation, renowned for his work at Jameson and Redbreast. With Brian leading the charge, they set out to craft a whiskey that blended the best of Irish and American tradition. The O'Shaughnessy Distillery, located in Minneapolis, Minnesota, combines heritage and innovation. Alongside authentic Irish whiskey barrels they've secured, the distillery features three massive copper pot stills designed to bring an Irish touch to their American-made spirits. With some guidance from David Perkins, founder of High West Distillery, O'Shaughnessy Distilling released what you see before you, Keeper's Heart Whiskey. Keeper's Heart has a wide variety of expressions beyond what I'm reviewing today, including cask strength, single barrels, finished versions of their Irish American and Irish Bourbon whiskeys, and an ever-growing lineup of aged Irish single malts. In fact, they most recently released a 32-year-old Irish single malt. I first found out about Keeper's Heart probably a few months ago and immediately started looking into their website to find out more information. And seeing what they do, I was instantly blown away and thought it was really cool that they might have potentially a new style of whiskey. So I reached out to them, and the kind folks over there were nice enough to send me some samples. I have their Irish American and their Irish Bourbon whiskeys here with me. Now, like I mentioned earlier, they do have other varieties in their lineup, including cask strength. They do have lots of finishes. I saw an apple finish. I saw a PX sherry finish. And then they have that ever-growing line of single malts. I believe they have a 10-year, a 21-year, and a 32-year offerings of their Irish single malts. So those all sound really cool. But for today, we're going to be taking a look at these two. The Irish American has a proof point of 86, and I believe the Irish Bourbon is going to be 92. Both of these are blended with Irish whiskey that they procured from Ireland, as well as their own distillate that they made. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. We're going to do all of the normal whiskey things, such as nose, flavor, and finish, and then I'll give you my thoughts. Now, with this being a lighter color, that is something that you're going to see traditionally with Irish whiskeys. I did not look to see if there was an age statement on here. I do know that they, I believe, opened or first had their products out in 2021. So they are probably fairly new, younger distillate with their American products. So on the nose, the first thing that I am reminded of is like a light fruit, perhaps like an apple or some grapes. I did have some of this as soon as it came in, just because I was so excited. I described it to my wife almost like a refreshing, crisp white wine. So there is some citrus there, maybe like a light lemon, florally notes, but it has a very nice, pleasant nose. Now, I've never had Irish whiskey on its own, so I don't really know how to compare it. But if all Irish whiskey smells like this, then I might have to start getting into that. So on the taste, cheers. That is amazing. Florally notes, very light citrus. There is some sweetness to it, almost like a light vanilla. This is very good. This is very refreshing. This, I often describe like when you would think you would want to drink this. This reminds me of like a nice, bright spring day, early summer. This is just very pleasant. There is no burn that you would expect from a whiskey, but it is a lighter proof. I believe, like I said, it should be 86. Yes. So we're going to go in one more time. That is just so pleasant. And it doesn't have a very long finish. As it does start to dissipate, you are getting some of those sweet, slightly florally notes that are there. But again, it is very crisp, as silly as that sounds, very light and refreshing. I think if you're maybe a white wine drinker, you might enjoy this as well. I'm really excited about this one because this is bourbon. It does have that slightly darker color to it. So with it being bourbon, I'm imagining it's going to be a little bit sweeter because of the corn, but we'll go ahead and get in on it. So as far as color goes, kind of hard to see since I drink a little bit of this one, but this one's slightly darker. So on the nose, so you do get similar notes. So that light citrusy note, but I feel like there's a familiar nose to it. Maybe it is that Irish that's kind of coming out a little bit more. Slight fruity notes to it. So in on the taste. Okay, so not as crisp as this one, but not in a bad way. It does tend to lean a little bit sweeter. So that vanilla, that kind of light candy flavor is a little bit more forward. Whereas this one, you tend to get a little bit more of those fruity notes, like a light fruit, maybe an apple or a pear. Whereas this one's going to be a little bit sweeter, more of that vanilla kind of candy notes. So one more time. So as it finishes on the tongue and starts to dissipate, you are kind of getting some of the tannins, that woody flavor left over from the barrel, but not in a bad way. So honestly, I enjoy them both. These are definitely some things that I could sip on all day. Within reason, lots of water in between, obviously. So, the people over at Keeper's Heart were kind enough to give us a discount code. I'm going to include it probably somewhere here on the bottom, as well as in the description. If you go to their website, you get, I believe, 10% off of whiskey from their website. They have more offerings besides just the Irish American and the Irish Bourbon. I believe that's where you're going to find the cask strength, some of those single malts, and some of those other finished whiskeys as well. Please make sure that if you do decide to order them and that you're using the discount, that you make sure that they do ship to your state. Unfortunately, not all states can have whiskey sent to them. So a big thank you to the folks over at Keeper's Heart. I can't wait to try some more of your offerings. These are both phenomenal. I do have friends that I'm going to share them with, so that way they can see the amazing or taste the amazing things that you all have. So thank you again, Keeper's Heart, for sending out those samples. So all right, if you haven't already, please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. Be sure to give this video a like. And have you ever had maybe a newer styled whiskey, perhaps an Irish American or an Irish bourbon whiskey before? If so, drop that down in the comments below. As always, thank you for following. I'm your favorite player one, Richard. Have a good one.